For years, you've heard they were conspiracy theories, that it was paranoia, that those who were overly suspicious were exaggerating. But what if the problem was never suspicion, but rather not suspicion enough? Official documents have proven that some of the most absurd stories were real, while millions of people felt warning signs in their bodies without knowing why. Strange discomfort, tightness in the chest, that feeling that something wasn't quite right. These weren't irrational fears. They were early warning signs, signals from the body reacting to truths hidden in plain sight. The body always knew before the official confirmation. While the mind accepted convenient versions, silent symptoms emerged. Restlessness, intuitive skepticism, difficulty in blindly trusting. But no one taught you to listen to these warnings. On the contrary, you were taught not to ignore headlines, but to ignore initial internal symptoms. And that's how hidden symptoms accumulate. When you swallow ready-made narratives while the signals your body is telling you are treated as exaggeration or unfounded fear. In this video, you'll discover conspiracies that have been officially admitted, and more importantly, why so many people felt silent signs long before the truth came to light. If you've ever had a feeling that something was wrong, even when nobody was saying anything, stay until the end. Some symptoms you shouldn't ignore aren't linked to illness, but to perception. And after this video, you'll never again call intuition paranoia. The fake vampire attack. During the Cold War, there was a little-known episode in which a staged attack, attributed to vampires, was used to manipulate collective fear. This serves as a classic warning sign of how well-told stories activate real physical responses. Even without proof, people reported panic, unease, and flight, clear signs of the body reacting before reason. When fear is well constructed, silent symptoms emerge that seem intuitive, but were induced. This type of event reveals early warning signs of how narratives shape perception. Don't ignore how emotions can be guided without you realizing it. The body feels before it understands. The most curious thing is that many affected individuals presented initial symptoms such as insomnia, tachycardia, and a constant feeling of threat, even without real danger. This shows how hidden symptoms can arise from distorted information. A practical example helps. Overly alarmist news often generates signals that your body is telling you to check sources and slow down. An attentive mentor would recommend something simple. Before reacting, pause, take a deep breath, and look for two reliable sources. Books like Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman help to understand why we fall into these traps. These precautions reduce symptoms that you shouldn't ignore in your daily life. The key point is to understand that manufactured fear leaves real physical traces. The body doesn't easily differentiate between imagined and concrete threats. Therefore, silent signs emerge even when danger doesn't exist. An experienced mentor would say, whoever controls the narrative controls the reactions. Learning to identify these warning signs prevents you from being swept away by collective panics. And when you understand this, you begin to notice that not every threat comes from visible stories. Some seem to come from even more improbable places, like the mind itself being observed. The psychic spies. For decades, the idea of psychic spies was treated as a joke until documents showed it was taken very seriously. Agencies actually investigated people capable of seeing from a distance, which sounds absurd, but raises an important red flag. When the fear of being left behind is great, even the improbable becomes a strategy. Many involved reported strange bodily signs during the tests: sudden fatigue, headaches, mental confusion, clear, silent symptoms of extreme cognitive effort. These reports serve as early warning signs about the limits of the mind. Don't ignore when your body reacts to stimuli that seem purely mental. The most interesting thing is that several participants presented initial symptoms even outside of the experiments, difficulty concentrating, vivid dreams, a feeling of being watched. And D, these are hidden symptoms that arise when the mind operates under constant tension. A practical example helps to bring this to reality. People who live trying to predict everything, control everything, end up somatizing. The body sends signals that it is telling you to slow down. A wise mentor would suggest simple practices such as daily reflective writing or short guided meditation. Readings like The Body Keeps the Marks by Bessel van der Kolk help to understand these symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. The big lesson here is that the mind doesn't function in isolation. When it's pushed beyond its natural limits, the body pays the price. These silent signals don't signify weakness, but rather limitations. An attentive mentor would say, curiosity without balance leads to burnout. Recognizing warning signs prevents you from turning mental exploration into self-sabotage. And when you understand this, it becomes easier to realize that not every secret operation happens in the mind. Some involve decisions so audacious that they seem impossible until they are confirmed. Project Azorian. For years, Project Azorian seemed like science fiction. A secret operation to rescue an enemy submarine from the ocean floor using a mining platform as a disguise. When it came to light, it revealed a powerful warning sign about how far institutions will go when something is considered strategic. The curious thing is that decisions of this magnitude always leave human marks. Engineers, operators, and analysts reported physical signs such as extreme exhaustion, constant anxiety, and lapses in attention, classic silent symptoms of prolonged pressure. These are early warning signs that the human cost rarely appears in official reports. Don't ignore when great achievements hide small collapses. What's striking is that many involved only noticed the initial symptoms after the operation was over. That's when the hidden symptoms emerge. A feeling of emptiness, difficulty switching off, a constant need for vigilance. This also happens in everyday life. A practical example, people who undertake long and intense projects, such as entrepreneurship, studying for competitive exams, or caring for someone for years, tend to function while they are busy and collapse afterward. These are signs that your body is telling you that the effort has gone beyond your limit. An experienced mentor would recommend strategic breaks and a review of goals, as well as readings like Essentialism by Greg McKeown to cut out excesses and avoid symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. The great silent lesson of Project Azorian is that not everything that is possible should be done without measuring the impact. The human body was not made to operate like a machine indefinitely. When it endures too much, the silent signs appear late, but with force. A wise mentor would say, success that ignores the internal cost exacts interest later. Understanding these warning signs prepares you to see that some secret operations are not in the oceans. They are happening right under the noses of the population itself. Operation Chaos. Operation Chaos began as a preventive measure, but quickly transformed into massive surveillance of ordinary citizens. When this came to light, it revealed an uncomfortable warning sign. Institutional fear often grows faster than ethics. People monitored without their knowledge reported curious bodily signs, diffuse anxiety, a constant feeling of being watched, difficulty relaxing. Even without concrete evidence, the body reacted. These are silent symptoms typical of environments where trust has been broken. They function as early warning signs that something is wrong, even when no one can pinpoint exactly what. Don't ignore these subtle reactions. The most intriguing thing is that many only developed initial symptoms after discovering they were being watched. Insomnia, mild paranoia, hypervigilance. These are hidden symptoms that appear when the mind tries to protect itself from an invisible threat. A practical example, people who live in environments of excessive control, work, family, or relationships often exhibit the same signals that their body is telling them to regain autonomy. An attentive mentor would suggest creating zones of real privacy, offline time, clear boundaries, and even unfiltered personal writing. These habits reduce symptoms that you shouldn't ignore before they become the norm. The silent lesson here is simple and harsh. Being observed changes behavior even when no one is looking. The body understands this before the mind. When you learn to recognize these silent signs, you begin to better protect your mental energy. A wise mentor would say, constant control breeds external obedience and internal chaos. Recognizing warning signs prepares you to realize that some manipulations don't come with weapons or direct orders. They come with the constant feeling that you are never alone. The radio station that caused a coup. A single radio station was enough to topple governments. It may seem like an exaggeration, but when well-calculated broadcasts began spreading specific messages, the effect was immediate on people's bodies. Fear, urgency, a sense of chaos, all of this appeared as physical warning signs even before any real confrontation. Crowds felt bodily signals, such as constant tension and collective anxiety, clear, silent symptoms of mass emotional manipulation. These episodes reveal early warning signs about the power of repeated information. Don't ignore how words, when well placed, generate real physical reactions. What's most unsettling is that many of those affected presented initial symptoms such as confusion, difficulty thinking clearly, and impulsivity. These are hidden symptoms that arise when the mind is bombarded without pause. A practical example helps. When someone consumes news all day long, unfiltered, they often feel mental exhaustion and irritation, signs that their body is telling them to reduce exposure. A wise mentor would recommend something simple. Limit information consumption times, choose reliable sources, and alternate with neutral reading. Books like Group Psychology and The Analysis of the Ego by Gustave Le Bon help to understand these symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. Silent learning is direct. Whoever controls the channel influences the emotional state of the listener. The body reacts before reason perceives the manipulation. When you learn to recognize these silent signals, you become better able to protect your attention and your decisions. An experienced mentor would say, undigested information becomes slow poison. Understanding these warning signs opens your eyes to another disturbing detail. Sometimes the influence doesn't come from public messages, but from discreet, respected figures that no one imagines are involved. The doctor spy. During investigations revealed years later, it came to light that respected doctors acted as secret agents, using the trust of their practice as cover. This raises an immediate red flag about how authority and care can be used as a disguise. Patients reported strange bodily signs upon learning this: retroactive discomfort, chest tightness, a feeling of betrayal, silent symptoms that arise when trust is broken. These episodes serve as early warning signs that not every white coat symbolizes protection. Don't ignore when your body reacts to inconsistencies between words and actions. The most curious thing is that many only noticed initial symptoms after the revelation: difficulty trusting again, hypervigilance in medical settings, diffuse anxiety. These are hidden symptoms that appear when the mind tries to recalibrate security. A practical example helps to bring this to real life. When someone uses their position to obtain personal information, the body usually sends signals telling you to set boundaries. An attentive mentor would suggest simple and healthy actions, asking questions, requesting clear explanations, seeking second opinions. Readings like The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg help to understand how trust is built and broken, and to avoid symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. The silent lesson here is profound. Blind trust is fertile ground for abuse. The body perceives ethical deviations before reason can formulate words. When you learn to read these silent signs, you begin to trust more consciously, not automatically. A wise mentor would say, respect doesn't eliminate internal vigilance. Recognizing warning signs prepares you to realize that some of the most unlikely alliances don't happen in hospitals, but in forgotten conflicts, far from the spotlight, where secret wars shape entire destinies. The secret war in Laos. For years, an entire war raged in Laos without the world knowing. Officially, nothing was happening. In practice, constant bombings shaped the lives of millions. This reveals an uncomfortable warning sign. Institutional silence also makes people sick. Entire populations developed bodily signs such as chronic stress, diffuse fear, and collective exhaustion, silent symptoms of living under an invisible threat. These effects emerged as early warning signs, even when no one was allowed to speak about what they were experiencing. Don't ignore the impact of what is hidden for too long. The most insidious aspect is that many of these initial symptoms persisted even after the official end of the conflict. Persistent anxiety, difficulty planning for the future, and a constant feeling of insecurity are typical hidden symptoms of unrecognized trauma. A practical example connects this to everyday life. People who spend years in unstable environments, insecure jobs, unpredictable homes, exhibit the same signals that their bodies are telling them to seek real stability. A wise mentor would suggest building solid, predictable routines and studying topics such as emotional resilience. Books like Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning help to understand these symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. The great silent lesson of this secret war is that denying reality doesn't prevent the damage, it only pushes it in. The body registers everything, even when the official story pretends nothing happened. When you learn to recognize these silent signs, you understand that repressed truth becomes chronic tension. An experienced mentor would say, "What cannot be said ends up being felt." And when entire conflicts are hidden for decades, it becomes easier to understand why some unlikely alliances emerge in the shadows, including with people who should never be allies. The agency's drug lord allies. When documents revealed that agencies had made alliances with drug traffickers to achieve strategic objectives, many people felt an immediate warning sign, not only moral, but physical. The idea of the necessary evil often generates contradictory bodily signals: mild nausea, diffuse discomfort, chest tightness. These are silent symptoms that arise when values clash with rational justifications. These episodes function as early warning signs that extreme pragmatism exacts an internal price. Don't ignore it when something makes sense in your head but weighs on your body. The curious thing is that many involved in these agreements reported initial symptoms of psychological distress even before the consequences appeared. Diluted guilt, growing cynicism, difficulty trusting any official narrative. These are hidden symptoms that emerge when the mind tries to normalize the unacceptable. A practical example connects this to everyday life. People who remain in ethically dubious environments for money, status, or fear begin to feel signals that their body is telling them to leave, even when everything seems to be working. A wise mentor would suggest reviewing personal boundaries and studying applied ethics. Readings like Machiavelli's The Prince, read critically, help to understand power without romanticizing it, and to avoid symptoms that you shouldn't ignore. The silent lesson here is harsh but liberating. Justifying everything in the name of a goal corrodes you from within. The body perceives incoherence before the mind admits it. When you learn to listen to these silent signals, you begin to make less self-destructive decisions, even in complex scenarios. An experienced mentor would say, not every victory is worth the internal cost. Recognizing these warning signs closes a pattern that repeats itself in all these stories. and prepares the ground for understanding why so many conspiracy theories weren't delusions. They were just uncomfortable truths waiting to surface. If you've made it this far, it's because something clicked inside you. It wasn't empty curiosity, it was recognition. Throughout this video, you realized that many warning signs were never exaggerations, never paranoia, never collective madness. They were early warning signs, signals from the body reacting when the truth was still buried. While official versions reassured, silent symptoms emerged. That discomfort that's hard to explain, that feeling that something didn't add up. And now you understand. The body perceives before confirmation. This is the kind of knowledge that changes how you see the world. When you learn to listen to silent signals, you begin to identify early symptoms before they become traps. You begin to recognize hidden symptoms before they transform into exhaustion, fear, or blind obedience. Few people develop this ability to read. Few people learn to respect the signals their body is giving them. And that's precisely why this content isn't common, it's transformative. So, if this video resonated with you, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next videos will delve even deeper into these symptoms you shouldn't ignore. These real stories that prove that being suspicious, observing and thinking for yourself has never been a weakness. It's been survival. Stick around, because the more you learn to listen to the silent signals, the harder it becomes to be manipulated, and the freer you become. Subscribe. The next alert may arrive before the next official announcement.